Hi, I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. In this video, I'm continuing the analysis into national and homeland security affairs, and specifically an in-depth account of intelligence gathering and intelligence handling. In the last section, I went through and I discussed a very general overview, nothing specific, just conceptual, of intelligence gathering procedures. And the general account that I gave is going to be made more explicit in this section of the series. In the previous account, what I said is you can think of sort of holistically intelligence gathering and handling falling into what I've called the CAD intelligence model, which is C stands for collection, A stands for analysis, D stands for dissemination. So you collect the information, you analyze the information, and you disseminate new intelligence. So that the product of the original information is new intel. And that's a very sort of overarching model. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to get a lot more specific and talk more about not just the gathering of sensitive intelligence, but also the handling of intelligence as well. If I can get this thing sealed here. Okay, so this is going to be section 2.1 of the analysis, and it's titled Fundamentals of Intelligence Handling. So this is National, NATIO, National and Homeland, National Homeland Security, section 2.1, and it's fundamentals of intelligence handling. Alright. To begin with, and I'm not going to go through and list these, this is more a resource for you. What I've done, and the point of this, as I said before, especially doing the public lecture, the point of this is to take all of this information that is dispersed throughout the internet in hundreds of different .gov sites and books and web links and so on and so forth, journal articles, and put all of that information into a repository. This document serves, and these videos serve as that repository. The point is to try and make as much of this information accessible in one location so that you don't have to do what I had to do, go, for a number of weeks and collect and compile all of this data into this document. You can just go to this document and use it as a source. Some of the things in the document I'm not really going to address. I've included it to help you in your research, if you're a researcher or a graduate student. But it will, in a sense, facilitate my discussion. To begin, there are 16 elements. They're called elements. You can think of it as divisions. 16 elements of the intelligence community. And we have the CIA and all the many different branches of the intelligence community. I'm not going to go through all of them now. What I've done is I've broken them down into the departments that they answer to, and I've provided hyperlinks to their website. So click on any of these, like for example, if you want to go to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, click on that. It'll take you to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. You can read up more on that, and so on and so on. So for all 16 elements of the intelligence community, I've offered links. It's important to recognize what the intelligence community consists of. In the last video, I drew a diagram, and the diagram at the end of section 2.0 shows the relationship between the federal government and the intelligence community. By intelligence community, to be technical, I'm referring to the collection of all 16 of these elements, right? So all 16 of these elements constitutes the intelligence community. Okay, a lot of the lecture is going to be furnished from David Keithley's article, or actually chapter in the book, Homeland Security and Intelligence, and the title of his chapter is called Intelligence Fundamentals. And when I read it, I was like, this is remarkable. You cannot ask for a more succinct, precise, explicit account of sort of the basics that you need to know about, and it's going to actually get pretty deep. but the basics that you need to know about the intelligence community, the structure of the intelligence community, how intel is managed and gathered, the distinction in types of intelligence, and so on. And as I said, as the videos progress, I'm going to get less general and more specific, more and more precise. Hopefully with the attempt to try and add some new content, new information. And in this video, by the end of the video, I'll offer some suggestions and what I think are missing gaps in contemporary U.S. intelligence policy and stuff. Alright, so let's begin with really generic stuff. These are the three forms of intelligence. And the first form of intelligence that we can think of is just basic intel, right? Basic intelligence. Basic intelligence, and David Keithley says, basic intelligence is understood as, and is concerned with past and is relatively permanent, right? This is intelligence that is concerned with the past, and the intelligence is relatively permanent. It happened in the past, the intel is fixed. So this is intel which is concerned with the past. Okay, so that's basic intel. Next form of intelligence that we can talk about, current intelligence. We can talk about current intel. And obviously current intel deals with intelligence information that pertains to our present society, right? The present day. This is intel that pertains to the present, right? So basic intel pertains roughly to the past, current intel pertains roughly to the present, and then the last form of intel that we can talk about, 3, is intelligence estimates. Intelligence estimates are concerned with the future or the unknown but possible present. Say that again. Intelligence estimates are concerned with the future, so concerned with the future, concerned with the or the unknown, right? The unknown yet possible future, right? The things that we actually wouldn't be the unknown known like that. It would be the things that we don't know, right? Or the things that we know that we don't know. And I've talked about this in various videos, right? This is more difficult to assess, if not, I wouldn't say it's impossible to assess, but it's more difficult to assess. This is things that we know that we don't know. We know the terrorists have bombs, we don't know how many bombs that they have. Let's use intelligence estimates to assess what we think a likely number is. And based on our intel, probably human, and I'll get into this in a little bit, probably human intelligence, we'd make intelligence estimates based on the unknown, the known unknown, how many bombs they have. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's important to recognize that when we're talking about intelligence, intelligence is divided within a temporal sense. Intelligence with respect to the past is our basic intel. Our current intelligence pertains to stuff that happens today in our daily lives. And our estimates, the intelligence estimates, are going to be used to make assessments for the things we don't even know that we don't know, and also the things that we know that we don't know. For example, we know that the terrorists have bombs, we don't know how many bombs that they have. We're going to use intelligence estimates to try and make a sense of what that number might be. Alright, that's pretty basic. Alright, next is a very elaborate account of 5 different forms of intelligence disciplines, right? And you can view intelligence as a discipline. If you're very, let's say, mathematically inclined, you might go into signals intelligence. If you're a psychologist, a sociologist, a good communicator, you might go into human intelligence, and so on and so on. So there's 5 different disciplines. of intelligence, I'm going to talk about each of the 5 disciplines. A lot of this comes from, not entirely,